morning. Hello, everyone. Happy Sunday. It's cold and gloomy here, but it's happy in my craft room. My name is Tiffany Almeida. I'm with Pretty and Paper Crafts, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I go live every Sunday for Coffee and a Card, where I show you 3 fun projects using Stampin' Up! Products. All right, guys, so here we go. Let me show you today's projects. First of all, let me show you which set we're using. This is the Boo to You set. I cannot resist it, you guys. I love Halloween, and I just couldn't wait any longer to use this adorable set. So fun for coloring, so great for Halloween, and I think even more than just Halloween, it's gonna be great for like a little monster's birthday or a baby card, or maybe just a, hey, sending a hug, you know, hang in there, any kind of occasion. I think that this was super, super cute. And yes, thank you for the compliments on the gold fingernails. I had to celebrate gold, so I did some gold nail polish. Thanks, Evelyn. All right, so Boo to You. And then I thought, what a fun and easy way to incorporate pigment sprinkles for Halloween cards, because the colors are so great, bright and vibrant, and we have some really good Halloween colors in our pigment sprinkles. So we have this Eclipse card, which is going to use those black Stampin' Dimensionals, which are awesome. We have a little zombie card. This is a fun fold card. Look at that purple. I love that purple for Halloween. And the zombie pops up. Can you guys see that? So he lays flat as you fold it. When you open it, he pops up. How fun is that? So I love that purple. The purple and the zombie, I think, go together so well. And then finally, I took the scraps from my 3 colors and I made a cute little easy, super simple Halloween card just by stamping within those pigment sprinkles. So this can make Halloween go so easy with these bright colors, just using the pigment sprinkles. So we're going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to show you guys how fun it is. First of all, we got to use my favorite thing, pigment sprinkles, and get wet and messy. You guys know I like to get wet and messy here. So I'm going to use some paper towels. I'm just going to lay down some paper towels. Uh-oh, I'm almost out. Lay down paper towels. And I'm also using my Stampin' Spritzer. It's a must when you use these pigment sprinkles, I'm telling you. Here's my pigment sprinkles. They're well loved, well used. The 3 colors that we're going to use today are Mango Melody, Granny Apple Green, and Gorgeous Grape. They are great for Halloween. All right, so let's do this next one, which is really, really cool. This fun fold that makes the zombie pop up. He is so cool. I'm going to show you how we're going to do this. The first thing we have to do, though, is we of course have to get our pigment sprinkles on again. So we need 3 pieces of that Fluid 100 watercolor paper, and we need them to be 3.5 by 3.5. So we have 3 pieces here, and you can keep them all. You can keep pieces together and then cut them down later. But I needed several pieces to get the 3.5 by 3.5, so I just cut them out ahead of time. We're just gonna get those wet. Really wet. And then I have the Gorgeous Grape. And we're just going to sprinkle Gorgeous Grape. Look at how it activates with the water. Isn't that so cool? I mean, you can make some really cool or creepy projects with these. And I don't know why, but I always associate like zombies and Frankenstein with the color purple. This is a good Halloween color, I think. So what I'm doing is just putting water on these crystals, especially these thick spots, so that they dilute a little bit. And we'll spread them around. Let's see if I can turn this lamp off, because I feel like the color is a little bright. We'll see how that works for you guys. So you can just spread the color around, get it nice, or you can leave it splotchy, however works for you. Now your fingers will get stained. Just accept it, embrace it. If you have a nice layout of paper towels, you should avoid some spray off, but you are going to have to wipe down your desk or wherever you're working because the crystals get everywhere. Especially when you're spraying that water, it just sends them flying. So, but it's watercolor, so it does wash out eventually. Okay, so there's our purple pieces. Let's go ahead and dry them real quick. Okay, so cool, right? They're not 100% dry, but they will dry as we work on the other parts of the project. Okay, so what else do we need? We need a piece of 8.5 by 8.5 cardstock. What you're gonna do with that 8.5 by 8.5 piece is you're gonna score it at 4 1/4 on both sides. So I'm gonna burnish those really well now that I have scored them. The next thing you're gonna do is take one of the squares, and it doesn't matter which one, but you're going to score it from the center down to the point. You can do that in your trimmer or you can do it with your scoreboard, but you'll want to fold that as well. Okay, and then what I did was I took the opposite side, so the not cutting on a score line that is next to the diagonal, but across from it, you're going to cut from the point to the outer end. So just like that. Eventually, what's going to happen is we are going to glue them down so they look like this. So it pops up and closes flat. Okay, so with these pieces, we're going to do some stamping, but we have some matted pieces. We need 4 pieces of Whisper White cardstock cut at 3 3/4 by 3 3/4. 3 of them are going to mat our, ooh, look at it, colored paper. Better be careful, it's not quite dry. 3 of them are gonna mat the purple pieces. 1 of them is going to be the back piece for just like our sentiment if we want it, right? And then we need a scrap of Whisper White to color our zombie. So we need to stamp and color our little zombie. Of course, I'm going to use my Stampin' Blends, my Stampin' Blends, because I love coloring with those. And they have great colors for this project. And we'll have to fussy cut him out. And I know that's not an F word that people like. But, sorry. All right, so then we need a Boo to Use stamp and the Just a Little Creepy, because we're going to punch those out. Ooh, that was way kinds of crooked. We might have to do that again. Let's see. So let's go ahead and color the colors that I use to color our little zombie, and I'll bring the original out so you guys can see him. I don't know how best to show him off. If I do it like that, can you see him? But I used the Highland Heather Light and Dark for his shirt, and I just did a little bit of shading. I just did just the dark around the edges, under his arm. And then I went back with the light and just quickly blended it all. And then you can do the same with, well, you're gonna do black. So I have light basic black for his hair. His crazy zombie hair. And I did black for his trousers. And those you don't have to shade because black is black, right? Okay, and then his skin is going to be green. So I've got my Granny Apple Green, light and dark. That's why these Halloween colors go so great. Isn't he so cute? So we'll just quickly color him. You can do some shading too with the dark if you want. Get some shading under his face. Maybe down in his chin area. Along his ear, maybe under his eyes a little bit. Maybe he's got bags under his eyes. On the bottom of his feet. But then you got to go back over it and blend it. Okay, and then we gotta cut him out. So we'll take our scissors and we're gonna trim him. So now I have my little zombie, and you should see I'm not getting super detailed, but I did a little bit. Okay, so the other thing we have is we need to punch out these words. So I have boo to you. And you know what I did to shade this? If you don't have daubers or sponges, you know how you can shade right on the ink pad? You can take your piece and you can just brush the edges along your label. Whoa. That one went deep inside, but that's okay because he's going to kind of cover that. Looks kind of cool. All right. The other thing we have is this pumpkin, and guess what? This pumpkin was colored with pigment sprinkles. So I have this pumpkin. This is from the Harvest Hellos, and this is that Mango Melody, which we're going to do a little bit more of later, but I had a nice piece of extra left over for this pumpkin. And then this is left over from my first green project. I'm going to use that for the leaf. And then I have a piece of soft suede for the stem of the pumpkin. And of course I'm using the awesome punch that goes along with the Harvest Hellos. So I'm just going to stamp the pumpkin on my Mango Melody. And then I can just punch him out. The zombie needed, ooh, that was tough. The zombie needed something next to him. I could have done another monster to be next to him, or this cool pumpkin. I just like the orange. I like the bright color. And the pumpkin's really easy to do. So you can see here, I've just simply taken these pieces and made, so keep your scraps. You never know what you can use them for. So I'm going to put my pumpkin together. The easiest way to put your pumpkin together is with mini glue dots. You take a glue dot, put it behind the leaf. You take a glue dot, put it in the front of the stem. And you can just fold it up if it's too big and glue it down. So then you have a pumpkin. Voila, super fast, right? All right, so now we need to create that pop-up mechanism. So this thing that makes them be able to stand up, which is when you take a piece of 3" by 1" piece of cardstock and score it at 1.5 on the 3" side and score it at 1/2 inch on the 1" side. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold it in half like this. And I'm actually going to trim a rectangle, a triangle out of the center and out of the corners. So it looks like this. And these little bottom tabs are going to be what we glue down so that it doesn't move. And we'll do that here in a second. So now we've got all our little pieces. Let's go ahead, and you do not have to do this step, but I thought that the purple needed something cool in it. So what I did was on the front, I stamped the zombies. They're really kind of hard to see against this purple, but it's kind of a cool background. So you have these. And then on the inside, I did my little monsters, little werewolf and the little, I don't know what he is, furry creature. So you can do that if you want to. You don't have to, but I thought it'd be fun. So I'm going to use my StazOn ink this time. Ink up my little werewolf. He'll be right here. And then I have my little monster. And then this zombie one I did several times all over. Like that. And we can clean up the, oh, this is StazOn. This ain't going nowhere. I'll have to get out my rubbing alcohol and get that out later. Okay, So before I go move on with StazOn, you don't want to leave this ink on your stamp. So I'm going to use the StazOn cleaner. Have you guys all seen the StazOn cleaner before? Looks like this. And what you do is you just rub it right on your stamps. I don't think I use StazOn on this one, but we'll just clean it anyway. You just rub that right on your stamps and then let it sit for a second and then wash it off. And it takes that StazOn right out. And I just use a baby wipe to wash it off. Could probably use it on the mat, but I'm not going to try that right now because odds are I'll probably get it all over everything and ruin everything. But see how it cleans that off? Cool, right? You always want to clean your stamps when you use StazOn right away because they do stain. You don't want to leave the chemical on either. You definitely want to wipe it off because it will mess up your stamps too if you leave it on the cleaner. Okay. All right, so now let's go ahead and put our matted pieces on our projects here. And I'm going to just use snail for this. I'm like all over the place today, and that's no different than normal. Okay, this mat moving is driving me insane. So there's one piece. Here's our front piece with the zombies. Isn't that purple just so cool? I think it just stands out. It's so bright. Okay. Now, here's what we got to be strategic about the placement. So this is going to be our monster who's going to fold over. So our monster needs to be sideways because when we fold over, he'll be straight. So let's glue our monster down. That's the only thing is if you stamp on these, you'll have to be mindful of the direction of which they go. Oh wait, this way. Because when I stand him up, he'll go like this. And then our other guy, he needs to be like this. Like so. Okay, and then on the back side is going to be the front. So the back side of this one here. So we'll put him in the front, and we got to be mindful of the direction of that one as well. So it's going to go the same direction as, okay. So this one's going to be sideways. You were shouting at me, Janie? Because I was about to glue it down the wrong direction? Okay. So then on the back of this piece, so this piece is going to be what we glue down, but on the back of it, you can put a white piece to do your sentiment and, or to from, write your little note. So that can go, it's right adjacent from the diagonal score line, okay? All right, so now to put this guy together, we're going to use tear and tape. And so you can just take this piece here that we are going to glue to the back of our other piece. Just put tear and tape on it because you want it to be nice and glued down. Okay. And I always go at my tear and tape from the side because if you try to pick off from where you tore it on the top or bottom, it doesn't come, sometimes the adhesive will come up along with the backing. Okay, so we'll go ahead and fold this over and bring this up and glue that down so that it lays nice and flat. See that? Woo! Okay, so now we're gonna work on this piece here, which remember we have this little hinge here. We're gonna put tear and tape on the bottom. Okay, and peel the backing off. Okay, now this has to kind of lay at an angle, like not a big angle, but just slightly, and you want the center fold to be in the center of the card so that when it folds up, it tucks down, and when it picks up, it opens like this. Okay, now we can put our zombie and our little boo to you. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna glue the zombie to the boo to you. So I'm gonna put a little bit of glue in this corner here and this corner here. And he's gonna stand right over it like that. Okay, and I'm gonna put a little bit of glue on the back of the bottom of our pumpkin. Now our pumpkin, and I'll show you the original one here, he's attached to this side. So you'll put our pumpkin right here. So I just glued him down. Oops, and it's not glued yet, so I wanted to show you, but glue that down to that side. Now you're gonna take your zombie and your little frame and glue it down to this side. So cute. Oh, I can't get enough of it. And then when we pick it up, it will lay flat, and it's so cool. But of course I want to let it dry real quick before we do that. But how cute is that? Oh, I forgot the ribbon when I glued this down. Whoopsie. So there's ribbon across this. Let's see if I can pick it up. Probably not. I probably ruined it. Someone was probably yelling that through there too, like, don't glue it down yet. All right, so I've got it lifted up enough. So what I've used is this cute glitter organdy ribbon, and I just did a knot in the front. So I'm gonna use my little knot trick where I have a loop in the center around my thumb or my fingers, it doesn't matter. And you pull it tight, and then can do that. And then this little loop we're going to leave alone for a second. I'm going to put tear and tape on here so I can tape it to the back of my, oh, good idea. So Jenny had a really good idea of using the heat tool to lift up that adhesive when you make a boo-boo like I did. You can just heat the adhesive, and it will come up easier. All right, so now I've got tear and tape on the back of that. So I'm gonna take my sides, tuck it behind. It will stick because it's got that tear and tape, and stick. And then we can take a little bit more liquid glue and glue it back down because I boo-booed. No harm, no foul. And then we can take a pretty little loop here, cut it at an angle, and now we've got a tag. You can trim it down some more too if you want. All right, so then we have our just a little creepy label. I messed up the other one that I stamped, so I'm gonna do it again. Susan, I missed you. I missed the question. I'm sorry. As long as you wipe it off, it's a great cleaner, won't harm it. I'm sorry. I missed that question, Susan, but I can go back. But it looks like everybody else answered it for you, so. And I'm just taking that StazOn right off of the ink pad. And then we're going to take this Darling Label Punch. I love this punch. I use it a lot, actually. More than I thought I would. And we're going to do that same technique I showed you of just shading the sides by just rubbing it on the ink pad directly. Just a little creepy. And we can take that and I tucked mine a little bit under the ribbon down here. You can put it on dimensionals if you want. Just a little creepy. So then, voila, you have that really cool zombie card. Now you could make this a whole horde of zombies. You could put zombies on the background, zombies, you know, stacked together like it's a zombie horde coming after you. But how cool is that for a Halloween card? Fun, right? And again, love the brush or pigment sprinkles. Love what they do for the card, how bright they make it. And it's just an easy way to color. So there you go. What do you think? Do you love it? I love these pigment sprinkles so much. I can't stop using them. I think of all these fun ways to keep using them. Make sure, you guys, that you have a wonderful, happy crafting week. And I will see you guys next week I'm going to be playing with the Mercury glass acetate paper. So excited for that. So we'll see you guys next week. Thank you again for watching. Happy Sunday. Bye-bye.